My name is Oliver Holbrook. I'm 44 years old, and I run Holbrook Plumbing Services in Springfield, Missouri. My dad and I started the company when I was barely out of high school, just me, him, and an old Ford van that broke down more than it ran. Now we've got 6 trucks, 8 employees, and contracts with half the subdivisions in town. Claire always handled the books. I handled the wrenches. It seemed like a perfect partnership. That Tuesday started like any other. October in Missouri can be unpredictable, but it was one of those crisp days that make you grateful to work outside. I was finishing a job at the Riverside development when my phone buzzed. A text from Claire, working late tonight. Client dinner. Don't wait up. Nothing unusual. Claire worked at Morrison Marketing downtown. They'd been busy with a new retail account. I trusted her. After 16 years of marriage, why wouldn't I? Still, something nagged at me as I loaded my tools back into the truck. She'd been distant lately. She jumped every time her phone rang. Little things stacked up like misplaced puzzle pieces. I decided to swing by her office around 7 with dinner from the Italian place she loves. I wanted to see her. I missed us. Morrison Marketing sits in a converted warehouse. It's all glass and exposed brick. Modern Claire. I parked across the street with the takeout bag, but froze when I saw her car in the lot. Her blue Honda, parked beside it, a black BMW I didn't recognize. Through the conference room glass, I saw her silhouette. She wasn't alone. A well-dressed man stood close to her. Too close. He tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. Claire laughed, that musical laugh I'd fallen in love with 20 years earlier, and leaned into him. Then they kissed. Slow. Deliberate. Like it had happened 1,000 times. My hands shook when I snapped a photo through the window. The image seared into me. My wife in another man's arms, both of them smiling like they had no idea what they'd just done. I walked back to my truck on autopilot. I sat there for 10 minutes staring at that photo, then drove away. I couldn't face our house. Her coffee mug in the sink. Her book on the bedside table, all the small traces of a life we'd built. I spent the night in a motel on Highway 65, paid cash for a room, and stared at the photo on my phone. At midnight, Claire texted, "Just finished. Heading home now. Love you." Her words were a slap. Sleep didn't come. By morning, I felt like I'd been hit by one of my own pipe wrenches. I called in sick and drove to my dad's apartment at Sunset Manor. Vernon Holbrook, 71. Sharp as ever, even if the doctors said his memory was starting to slip, had taught me everything about pipes, business, and being a man. If anyone could help me think straight, it was him, I thought. He told me what I already suspected, get proof. Once you know for sure, you can't unknow it, he said. Measure twice. Cut once. He was right. I couldn't confront Claire with a single photo. I needed evidence. That afternoon, I returned to Morrison Marketing. The black BMW was there. I wrote down the license plate and followed it to an upscale apartment complex. The next morning, I did something I'd never done in 16 years. I went through Claire's purse while she took a shower. Receipts for restaurants I'd never visited. Gas stations across town. A credit card I didn't recognize. The car was linked to our business account. Claire had always handled the books because she understood marketing expenses. I trusted her completely. Biggest mistake of my life. I went to First National Bank and asked to see our business statements. Helen Rodriguez, our account manager of 10 years, helped me. Transfers to companies I'd never heard of. Kellerman Consulting. Premium Solutions LLC. Your strategic marketing group. Small amounts, never more than $2,000 at a time, but they added up. Nearly $23,000 gone in 6 months. Back in my truck, I spread the statements across the dashboard. The pattern was clear. Claire had been systematically draining our business account with fake vendor payments. I called my son Mateo, who was 22 and studying business at Missouri State. Mateo has his mother's intuition and the kind, a brain that sees patterns. I asked him to meet me that night with his laptop. We sat in a diner while he walked me through the numbers. "Dad, this is embezzlement," he said. Clear as day. He'd called some of the companies. 2 didn't exist. The third had never heard of Holbrook Plumbing. Mateo gave me the plan. Document everything. hire a lawyer, and be ready to fight. But he asked the hard question, "Are you ready?" And I realized I had been ready since the moment. I saw that photo in the parking lot, with Mateo's analysis and 2 years of statements. I went to Patricia Wells, the toughest divorce attorney in Springfield. Pat listened without interrupting. "$23,000 in 6 months, she said. "This is more than adultery. It's felony theft." She introduced me to Tom Davidson, a private investigator and former detective who specialized in infidelity cases. Tom told me the man in the BMW, Shane Kellerman, had a pattern. He targeted married women with access to money, bled them dry, then moved on. Tom knew at least 3 other victims. For 2 weeks, I played the part of the devoted husband while Tom gathered proof. I brought Claire coffee in bed. I complimented her haircut. I suggested a weekend away. All the while, I documented phone calls, receipts, and lies. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done. Acting normal around Lily, our 6-year-old. While my world unraveled, Tom returned with a manila envelope that changed everything. Photos of Claire and Shane at restaurants and hotels, financial records showing transfers from Holbrook's account to Kellerman's accounts, evidence of other women who'd been taken for everything they had. They'd stashed about $40,000 in a joint account in Kansas City. Nearly 2 years of profits, gone. Pat reviewed the evidence like a surgeon. Embezzlement, fraud, extortion. "We can own her," she said. "She'll be lucky to avoid jail. The question is how much of your life you're willing to let her take." I didn't want to destroy Claire. I wanted to protect Lily and our business. Pat's plan: present an offer. Claire cooperates, gives up claims to the business, accepts minimal custody, and avoids criminal charges. Many take the deal rather than face prison. That Friday night, after Lily was at a sleepover, I confronted Claire in our kitchen. She came home at 10, saying she'd been working late on the Henderson account. "How was work, honey?" I asked. Her color drained when I said the name Shane Kellerman. I pushed the photos across the table. Her purse fell from her hands. "Oliver, I can explain," she whispered. "Shane said we could start fresh. He said he loved me." When I told her Shane was a con artist, dangerous and experienced, the truth hit her like a physical blow. She sobbed. For a moment, I almost felt sorry. Almost. But then I remembered Lily's question about why Mommy and Daddy didn't laugh together anymore. The woman who'd kissed our daughter goodnight last week had been stealing from her future. The divorce was brutal. Claire agreed to give up all claims to Holbrook Plumbing, except supervised visitation every other weekend, and avoid criminal charges by paying restitution. I moved Lily and myself into a modest 2-bedroom house on the edge of Springfield. Nothing fancy. It was ours, and it was honest. Business picked back up. Word spread about what had happened, and somehow people trusted me more for how I handled it. Contracts rolled in. Mateo graduated early and joined full-time. He brought technology and ideas. We renamed the company Holbrook and Son Plumbing. I put my son's name on the license, but with a rule. Both of us sign every check over $500. Life settled into a new normal. Lily adjusted to her new school. I even started dating a little coffee with Sarah, a teacher down the street who makes great pancakes. Then things shifted again. Claire disappeared the day the divorce was finalized. Her sister, Amy Patterson, started calling. Claire had told me she was an only child, that her parents were dead. It was a lie. Amy had been searching for her. Months later, Amy showed up with an envelope. Photos, police reports, bank withdrawals. She said Claire and Shane vanished from Kansas City after the divorce. Then later, Amy came back with worse news. Claire's body had been found in a lake outside Denver. She'd been there weeks. The police ruled it a suicide. Amy believed otherwise. Amy handed me a letter the police had found in Claire's hotel room addressed to me. In trembling handwriting, Claire wrote that Shane had threatened to hurt me and Lily if she didn't keep stealing. She said she'd been trying to leave him, that he was dangerous. She begged me to protect our daughter and to stop him. The envelope included photos of bruises and threatening messages. It changed everything. I worked with Amy and Tom to dig deeper. They found patterns of abuse, financial crimes in multiple states, and other victims willing to testify. 6 months later, Shane Kellerman was arrested at a Las Vegas casino. The case turned into a media circus, but the evidence held. He was convicted of murder, fraud, and extortion, life without parole plus 20 years. I never told Lily the full details of her mother's death. That's a conversation for when she's older. For now, I tell her Claire made mistakes, but that, in the end, she tried to protect our family. Amy arranged a proper burial in Springfield so Lily could visit. Amy and I built an unexpected friendship, a fragile, honest connection forged by grief and purpose. Holbrook & Son Plumbing grew beyond what my father ever imagined. We expanded into commercial work and hired more crews. Mateo proved himself as a partner. Sarah brought warmth back into our home. One evening, watching Lily and Sarah plant flowers, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time: peace. Claire's betrayal nearly destroyed me, but it also showed me what I was capable of when everything was on the line. I learned that being a man isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about facing it, protecting what matters, and building something honest from the wreckage, one careful choice at a time.